Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP podcast, Nexus of Content Reviews and Reacts. I'm one of your hosts, Jong, alongside with me are two of my bestest best friend. I'm gonna start the one with the pink headset. Chubax, how are you doing?
Yeah, hello. Tiring week, but happy to be back. Can't wait to delve in, dive in.
Yeah. Also with us, straight from Galaxy's Edge, Arnie.
Hello there.
Awesome. If this is your first time in our channel, welcome. Thank you very much for the view. We truly appreciate it. We'd love for you to support our channel even further by getting your friends and family's phones, laptops, and whatnot. Going to their browsers, launching youtube.com/plus63hp. That's where you'll see all of our episodes video on demand. You can also follow us and interact with us in all of our social channels, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The handle is at +63HP. And if you don't want to see our faces and you just want to listen to us and then have us accompany you while doing your chores or working, open your favorite podcasting app, search +63HP. We should be there. We'd love for you to subscribe to us there as well. We prefer Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon. And as mentioned, the +63HP channel has multiple shows. This one is our weekly, twice a week review show where we review a movie of the week and a series of the week, sometimes two movies of the week, sometimes two series of the week. We provide a deep dive analysis and our opinion whether you should watch it yourself or with your friends and your family. On Wednesdays, we drop our D&D show. That is our very first campaign. We recorded it for posterity, sharing it with the world. We are having such a great time. We're never able to play D&D where we're growing up, so now we're making up for lost time and enjoying that particular fun. On Thursdays, we curate a set of short videos, clips, trailers, and whatnot, and we react to them. See what our hype levels are for that particular content. Join us so you can see which things you'd like to be hyped about as well. On Fridays, because Chubax and RJ cannot get enough of D&D, they have their own little tiny D&D campaign where they're the bad guys. So those episodes drop on Fridays. So as you can see, Mondays through Fridays, you have a full set of content that you can enjoy and interact with us with. With that, I'm very excited to open up our show this week. It's a very cool show that we are going to deep dive into. This week, our topic is the first 3 episodes of the 9 episode series in Disney Plus, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Couple of stats before we open up to non-spoilery stuff in terms of She-Hulk. Again, it's on Disney Plus. It is created for television by Jessica Gao, based on the Marvel comics of the same name. Tatiana Maslany is playing both Jennifer Walters and She-Hulk, doing an amazing job. Jamila Jamil from Good Place fame is Titania. She has only been out in a brief moment in the series, so we'll see her more as the series goes along. But Mark Ruffalo guests or does a cameo, has a few episodes. Benedict Wong has a cameo. Tim Roth, famously played Abomination, is also in the show. But other notable new stars from it will be Ginger Gonzaga, Renee Elise Goldsberg, John Bass, and of course, at some point, our homie Charlie Cox playing Daredevil will be dropping there.
Yeah.
So the series is 30 to 38 minutes each. Again on Disney Plus, originally released on August 18. It's a week-on-week show. We are having such a great time. Before we deep dive into it, Chubax, tell me, non-spoilery for the ones that haven't been convinced to subscribe to Disney Plus yet, or haven't been convinced to buy each episode of She-Hulk. What do you think of the show so far? And favorite things for the people that haven't seen it yet.
I'm loving it. I'm just having so much fun with it, and it's my it's my comfort show. Like it's sort
Mm-hmm.
of like my office, my community, my friends. Those are the old
Mm.
shows I always go back to, and this is gonna be one of them. It's like low stakes but fun acting, fun show. Yeah. Before we go spoilers, so that I'll cut it short there.
How about you, Arnie? What do you think of the show so far? And how would you describe it for people that, let's say, haven't seen the show or hasn't been really into the MCU yet? How does She-Hulk help them introduce this particular world?
Well, same sentiment as Chubax. It's a lighter show, lighter content. I guess after Endgame, we do need something like a filler, not really filler, but like a light-hearted show to decompress from the heaviness of what the Thanos arc did, and then in transition to Phase 5, 6, and beyond. So it's a fun show. Again, take it as it is. It's a lawyer show that's comedic in nature. So just take it as it is, and
Yeah, I think yeah, one analogy I can make is like when they say like a great king always needs a jester. So this is
Mhm.
like the jester of the MC. This one like
Mhm.
it's
yeah,
poking fun of everything. No, like
yeah,
everybody's always so serious with these stuff, but we can have fun with it. So nothing's out
yeah,
of bounds or nothing's out of reach. So
yeah,
so that's like
yeah, and it's also a great connective tissue for like it answered some questions about which we'll talk about later, and also it's one of those shows that breaks the fourth wall. So it's talking to us or talking with us or at us, but not talking down at us. There's some aspects of that as well, which we'll discuss later.
Yeah. Yeah, and on my non-spoilery review there, it's becoming possibly my favorite
Mm.
Disney Plus MCU television show. Exactly, the
I
things that
was
you guys.
worried you were gonna say, not like it,
Oh no.
but
I have the three episodes that came, or at least the first two episodes that came out. I think I've seen twice each.
Mm.
Like I just have it on the background. I keep on watching it. It's mired by controversy when it came out, only because of the CGI, which has been somewhat fixed, like greatly improved. There are spots here that is weird, but again, it's difficult to have like a walking She-Hulk, walking Hulk all throughout the movie, all throughout the episode. Anyway, it's going to be difficult for the CGI people. But aside from that, it is yeah, it's lighthearted. We have the we'll discuss it a little bit more in depth later, but there's so much MCU content now that it is kind of like a new territory in terms of how people will be perceiving these shows. There's so
Mhm.
much movies, there's a new series every 3 to 6 months. I like the idea that it's varying, it's varying levels of various levels of seriousness, different levels of storytelling. Like there's the espionage Winter Soldier, there is the weird
mhm.
WandaVision, there's the Doctor Who type timey-wimey Loki, there is the coming of age high school drama, comedy drama, Miss Marvel. Among all of those, I think this works the best because it knows it's a TV show. It's built for 30 to 38 minutes.
Mm.
It is about information, enough MCU stuff, but it's about life. Yeah, it's about a person trying to become a lawyer, and lawyers kind of deal with day-to-day things, so except like that these day-to-day things are superhuman related, and your lawyer is also superhuman. But as Arnie touched upon, I think this is the best connective tissue across all of MCU by discussing all of the things that fans discuss in a light-hearted but clear and informative way, right? So there are topics that we think about. Do Avengers get paid? Do they have health insurance, etc.? So many of those
Mhm.
one-liners that are somewhat touched upon in different shows. This one they just like lay it out so that we can like really absorb and enjoy it ourselves. Plus, it's just a myriad of Easter eggs that may or may not be
That might not matter.
it might not matter. It
Yeah.
might just be a joke, but the idea of it's fun to speculate. It's fun
Yeah.
that they're touching upon this. The showrunners really know that people are
Yeah.
looking at this and they're giving us what they want.
Yeah.
But the thing here is like it won't work. Nothing of this will work if they did not cast Jennifer Walters perfectly. Like so,
She
Tatiana, yeah,
she's a delight.
Tat,
My God.
Tatiana Maslany is essentially like the level of care every word that she goes by that she says is so endearing or powerful or clear that I don't see She-Hulk. I just see a character that is cool. So I'm enjoying that. So
Yeah.
without further ado, I'll pass the mic to Chubax to run us down just a quick synopsis. So if, again, we're now going to
Fuzzball.
spoiler territory. We're going to talk about all of our thoughts, all of the Easter eggs that we think that are important, all of the storylines and cameos in the first 3 episodes of She-Hulk. So if you want to discuss with us, pause this podcast right now, go watch it, and then come back, and then we'll be discussing with you. So Chubax, take it away.
So yeah, we start with episode one, which is basically more of like an origin story or a prologue. It's not even like She-Hulk proper. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. The tone is really different from the regular episode, but it's good because it's a TV series and they got this out of the way. It would have maybe another showrunner would have splattered it in, cut it in like the episode. She's just like slowly showing this episode, but let's just get it out of the
They
way.
Yeah, they so well, this is the best time to discuss it, but all the research that I've looked at, the origin story was supposed to be episode 8. So
Wow.
they weren't supposed to do the Hulk stuff until towards the end,
Mhm.
because again, like as we'll discuss later, Bruce is only a few episodes in and he goes somewhere. So they wanted to put that at the end, so it kind of flows into the bigger MCU timeline, the bigger Bruce storyline.
Yeah.
But they were fearful that just accepting a superhuman lawyer right at the start, like
Mhm.
imagine episode 2 being episode 1,
Mhm.
people might be confused. They really packed in all of the story in episode 1, which I don't know if I don't know if you guys think it worked or not. I wouldn't have known anyway, but I did like the very clear origin story
Yeah.
episode
Yeah.
1.
And she did reference it as in the fourth wall breaking. Like she said, like I know you can't concentrate until I kind of
Yeah.
explain all this, and so she did.
Oh,
So
yeah. It was
yeah.
it was well done. Like yeah, there's like a little bit of like oh yeah, this is typical Marvel a little bit, but then like because she did say that fourth wall stuff, that she's just getting this out of the way, so you have more patience with it, and stuff. And like you said, I mean, Tatiana Maslany is just like my expectations for Shield weren't that high as a show, but I always,
Mm-hmm.
as Arnie knows, I always big fan of Tatiana Maslany, and I knew that she was gonna be amazing, but like she's even more amazing than I thought, and her chemistry with all the other characters really
Yeah,
make the show. So
see, that's where I think she's great at, and that's why you're a great actor, because like her chemistry, episode 1 with Bruce, all of her assistants, her best friend, her family, every dialogue that she has is like, whoa, this is great. Like she's
Hmm.
awesome.
so basically we start. She's hanging out with Bruce. Bruce is still injured from Endgame. I don't know if they said he was like starting to heal or something, but he was still in a sling, and he had and so they're on the car, and they were talking about Captain America when Sakaar ship came in and they crashed, and this is when she got some of Bruce's blood because Bruce didn't change because of a gadget. So
Yeah.
she got the
Inhibitor. Yeah.
yeah. So the blood got into the cut and spread really fast, and then she became She-Hulk, and then We got some nice scenes like scenes I wouldn't expect, like the scene she goes into the bathroom and then everybody's so helpful, all the women are so helpful there. It's just like nice change of
Mhm.
pace, you know,
Mhm.
because you'd expect if she'd come in she'd panic, you know, more typical bullying stuff or just me, but here they're like, oh, here let me help you with the makeup and stuff, but then and then later Bruce finds her. Oh yeah, we did get the cat calling and then she becomes She-Hulk and then Bruce stops her, brings her to the island, and yeah, we just get like a training montage where Bruce is like really surprised that he's really her path is really different than his.
Mhm.
Like she didn't have problem with the anger. I love that it was so well said when they're trying to do the yoga part, the meditation. And, uh, Jen goes on a rant where I always control my anger because you know I'm a woman and
I'm a
the
woman.
cat
Yeah.
calling.
Which is true, and the thing is, uh, it- it- talking about trolling on the show because it's being review bombed by certain
No, I mean not
individuals,
even that, like just
but
like women,
yeah,
like the
yeah, it is
catcalling, the
true.
sexual
Yeah,
harassment. Yeah,
yeah,
I've seen some
sexual
of
harassment,
the
catcalling.
I've seen some of the you know the reacts to the episode, and like a lot of
Yeah,
women is like, I know what you mean, girl. Like,
yeah,
you know, they
yeah,
really have to put up with a lot of shit. So,
yeah,
um, that could add to why she's such good with her anger, and you know, not there's no other Jen. There's
yeah.
no She Hulk like Bruce
Yeah.
has a Hulk.
Well,
But it could just also be genes and stuff, but or maybe like both. And
because
then
Bruce, the character of Bruce Banner, he's like a very mild mannered, probably had
or
pent up
yeah,
anger,
pent up. Yeah.
and when the gamma rays hit him, that's when it blew up, right?
Yeah.
So that's but with her, she's been controlling her anger the entire
Yeah.
as soon as puberty hits, most likely. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a nice and a quick explanation on how she can it's a philosophical conversation that
hmm
women tend to hold their emotions more because they are subjected to it since the very very first day, while
yeah,
in Bruce's portion it took him 10 years to work with um a different voice in his head.
yeah,
So on one hand it's just different, like in Bruce, when he nobody knew what he was. It was the first of his kind,
yeah,
probably a stronger dose of gamma.
yeah.
Uh,
That
um,
too.
and then you have this as it's a great double entendre in terms of
Mhm.
an origin story, and a very very clear and uh, uh, it's a soft introduction on how, or explanation on how, not only Jennifer Walters can control her transformation better, but in the future episodes we'll see that it also can apply to other gamma based beings,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
possible subplots that we go through in other episodes. We'll let you know shortly.
Mhm.
So yeah, so basically she just yeah, she just doesn't need more training. So she goes back and that was basically episode. Oh, we did have like a mini fight between her and Hulk because she wanted
Yeah.
to leave
Mhm.
immediately and that was fun. But in the end, yeah, she just goes back to her life because she can, and she just says that she won't turn. But uh, in the last scene where she's in the court, that's when we get Titania. Is it Titania?
Titanium.
Yeah.
It's just she's like a super villain influencer. I think the term was used.
Super
That's
influencer.
I'm very excited to see how that works. But yeah, she's a
Uh,
superhero influencer.
Well,
Superhero or super
uh,
villain?
well, we
Well, they
don't
say
know yet.
superhuman,
Yeah.
superhuman
Okay, okay.
influencer.
Uh, and the actress, I think her Twitter, or they set up a Twitter account for Titania, so she was defacing She-Hulk ads and all that. So
Yeah, I saw that.
they're milking the influencer
I
viral
gotcha.
content. Let's put it
So
that
yeah,
way.
so the end, Titania comes in, and that's when Jen's forced to turn into She-Hulk and defeat her very easily. And then that was episode one. So episode two is more of her getting fired because of. I mean, it made sense. She saved the jury, So the jury can't
They're
be
biased.
biased. Can't make a decision without being biased. So uh,
That is an actual storyline that was lifted from
the comics.
the comics,
Okay.
Oh
where
wow.
like her saving the jury from peril, of course, kind of like makes the jury biased, so she can't try that case. So
Yeah. So uh, and
And
then
you
she
see
gets
that
fired.
she was trying to get other jobs,
looks
but
trying to look for a job but can't
and the
find a job
office
because
they got
I know that scene
crappier and
was nice,
crappier.
like showing, not telling. You know, like you see that the first interview was fancy with all the law books and stuff, and then it just gets crappier and crappier, and nobody's still taking her. And then she goes to visit the family, Bruce's family, and it took me a while. It took me watching another group watching the reacts to know that her dad
That
is from
perfect
Perfect Strangers.
strangers,
Like, oh my,
cousin Larry.
I see.
what?
Jong doesn't
Oh
even
no,
know.
I totally missed that.
I saw me
That,
on.
I
don't be
totally missed
ridiculous,
that.
Jong.
Oh.
Come on,
I
come
didn't.
on.
Me, I missed it until I just one of the guys in the reacts I was watching brought it up, and then
Cousin Larry.
Cousin Larry, yeah.
Oh.
so you know, she gets drunk in the bar, and she gets fired. But then she's also hired by a defense, like a law firm that she
Like
was
I love her.
fighting before, and to head up a superhuman group. But it turns out that they did want a She-Hulk, so she has to be She-Hulk
Yeah.
in work and in the
It's,
in jury.
Mhm.
another commentary
Yeah,
on like
and
the
I love
token
all the
hire,
scenes
right?
here, like
So,
the fucking Dennis. Oh, there's a
Uh,
Tinder. I'm gonna talk to it. Like, and what I love with Dennis is like they didn't just make him like a little uh a little sexist.
no
They just
redeeming
made him like
factor.
fucking all the way delusional, like
No,
no,
no redeeming,
100% all the
no
way.
redeeming
And
110%.
that's the funny thing too. So let's pause on this particular aspect because Arnie touched upon it. The token hire, um, which is funny that it pull back. Literally, Jennifer Walters, subjected herself to this. Like she agreed to be the token hire. She agreed to be She-Hulk area. So on one end, that is kind of lowering your morals to just get the job, right?
Mhm.
On the other hand, too, like Dennis, he's the DA. The DA usually, or most of the time, the watches, the TV shows that we watch, they are actually the good guys. They're the ones that aren't getting paid that much. They're the ones that are doing the pro bono case, fighting the big guys. And then now there's kind of like a semi role reversal, or a lot
Mhm.
of reality that sets in every
Mm-hmm.
single aspect of the show, right? Like so, that's the one thing that I'm realizing that I shut off my brain when I watch She-Hulk and I love it. I turn on my brain and look at the small parts. It's like, it makes you think, and
Mhm.
it really helps. It
No,
really helps that
yeah,
Dennis
and
is
like
super. It's comically douchey, but that's
even
what it
your
is.
initial
Yeah,
reaction of the head of the GLH GLK
HK.
GLH and
No,
K
GLK and H.
GLK and H. The first thing you think of him is like it's typical the sleazy evil
Like the
lawyer,
Barney
or
Stinson law
always,
firm, right?
yeah. But I mean, he may not be a saint, but he's just a lawyer. Like
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't tell her immediately that she wanted She-Hulk. Maybe that's the details, but it's not like he was sleazy and hired her in
Mhm.
bad faith or something. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we have a super law human law division. You're a superhuman. You're a lawyer. We want you
Yeah,
to head it. It
Yeah.
makes good publicity, and it's not like
Mhm.
she's gonna be doing it for all the bad guys. I mean,
Yeah.
yep.
and then I love that scene where he tries to negotiate like I have to hire my only my this
Well,
only
paralegal.
paralegal or the,
Don't care
Yeah,
about you.
I don't
yeah,
really
like
care. I
I
know.
don't care who your paralegal is, but I do
Yeah.
love Pug though.
Oh yeah, yeah. Pog is
Pug,
amazing, and I love that corner office. Like I was shocked that she get in. Like holy shit,
yeah,
corner office. But
Yeah.
I do have to say this. Like um, showing with the trailer, we knew the problems with the effects, and it's most
mm,
noticeable in the office.
In the office, yeah.
That's where they're
yeah,
having problems
Hmm.
because it's I think it's
If
bright
every
and
time she
maybe different
walks,
lightings.
yeah, every time she walks with a complicated background like slats, you'll see because
mm,
I saw this. I rewatched it last night. Every time she's walking with like vertical lines or slats on the wall, the
yeah,
entire side kind of like
Pops out. Or,
pixelates,
yeah.
yeah,
and then kind of like the the airbrushing isn't that great.
yeah,
I watched in my iPad, I watched in my laptop, and it's like, oh, okay. But again, this is the first time we're doing an entire CGI character
yeah,
in a week on week series. So
yeah.
give 'em a break. Most of the time it works. It's great.
Yeah,
And the
and
thing
it
is, like,
doesn't take
if
you
we
out. That's
Oh
it.
yeah,
yeah.
It doesn't take you out.
but, and the thing is, they don't have the same budget as an Endgame.
Mhm.
Of
So
course.
if at all, they probably just had a slightly bigger budget than, let's say, the CW Flash Arrowverse, right? And even that series, they don't even like
You have to suspend a little,
exactly. They don't
But
even have like even like the characters are like very complicated CGI. They don't even show up for most of the series. Like
yeah.
you know,
And that's what
yeah,
Chubax,
so
your point was correct. Like story is so strong that if
yeah,
there are any other thing weird like CGI, which is the only thing that can take you out of the episode anyway, doesn't
yeah,
matter anymore. Like it's like, oh, okay, you're
yeah,
engaged, it's fun, you're
yeah,
walking, you're talking, you're not pixel peeping. You're doing that after your second or third
yeah.
view already.
And the thing
So
is, we've come a long way from replacing actors. Like in the original Hulk '70s show,
yeah. You
it's
go
a
with
different
the
actor altogether. so so it's almost like hiring a UFC or a wrestler to play the She-Hulk parts, and then Tatiana will just play the Jennifer Walters. So I'll take this over
and
that.
then so she gets her first case with this Emil Blonsky, who makes a really understandable arguments.
right.
Like,
See, that's so sorry, I know we should be doing like the quick synopsis, but the reason why this was done with very with a lot
Tim
of
Roth.
care, like Jessica Gao, the head writer, really wanted to make sure that the number one thing, the law part of it works.
Yes.
Again, this is that's why the series title is She-Hulk Attorney at
attorney at
Law,
law.
not just She-Hulk. This is they really want to lean into the week on week law type. So there are actual cases that are
Yeah.
being tried that
Better
are
call Saul, but it's superpowers, right?
that yeah that that touches upon real life things but also MCU things.
Yeah.
So in order for this to work, the Emil Blonsky needs to be like the abomination of
Sympathetic.
it all will need to be solid. Like,
Yeah.
is 20 years enough? Right? Is
Yeah.
is
He
20
made
years
it even
enough to
seem too much.
Yeah.
right? Right?
I have
Is
my seven
every single
soulmates.
aspect of it was the funny thing is like people kind of like um breeze through the fact of the conflict of interest part, but that's a very big deal in terms of lawyering, I guess. And then a lot
Mhm.
of there's a few of the podcasts that I've listened to kind of showed that, hey, they really research if is this really conflict of interest on both ends. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm a lawyer and I'm defending somebody that killed my cousin, is that actually conflict of interest?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because like if it doesn't make sense, that you're forcing,
That's
you
why
you might have like a lawyer coming like,
he had to
no,
sign the
yeah,
waiver.
Conflict waiver.
yeah. So this one's like, technically she didn't have to, or they didn't have to do the waiving of conflict of interest from Emil Blonsky. But again, it's a good enough, because if it's a high profile case and you're both Hulks,
Yeah.
we want to be weave it into the story, and it worked. I really liked it.
It worked.
And
And even the argument that Emil kind of like, I mean, of course, it's his point of view. Like, I thought I was freaking Captain America, and it's the government who gave me the secret
Great
serum.
argument.
But of
Great
course, he
argument.
forgot to mention, oh yeah, but I also stole Bruce Banner's blood so to
The
enhance my
leader.
super serum. But 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 yeah, I mean, but the thing is,
But I mean,
the
his goal was
movie,
to defeat the Hulk. Anyways, it
yeah, but
wasn't. He didn't know that he
yeah,
was gonna go crazy.
it's almost like the ends justify the means. But also, it's, I mean, going back to the MCU, it's one of the first movies, and it's not even on Disney Plus, so it's kind
As
of
what
like
Bruce said, he's a different person.
he is literally a different
Literally,
person.
see, even those. That's why even the Easter eggs work so well in the show and outside of it. It's like I'm a different.
Uh,
He wrote me haiku.
you're, you're
Totally
like,
different person.
I see what you did there,
And
Ruffalo.
you know something I just noticed now. I think that's why the bad CG doesn't take you out. Her face is well done. So you know
Yeah,
her
the
acting
emotion,
comes out. So it's
she
like
could convey emotion. It's just
yeah,
like
it's
if
just
you're
the hair.
bothered by
It's just
hair
the hair popping
physics.
out from the
I
back.
mean, I played video games, so for me it's like,
Yeah,
CGI is
that's true.
CGI, whatever.
Now
But
we're even
if the
starting to
game is
convince
good,
Jong.
yeah, if the game is good, fine.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
mean
So
we did like FF7 with which is like the chibi pixelated. You know, we don't care as
oh,
long as
Renova's hair. Oh yeah,
FF8. So, anyways,
yeah.
we even skipped the post credit in the first movie, the first episode with they're discussing this through line of Captain America
Captain America.
being a virgin and Bruce selling out his brother, which came into a tweet. Also, did you see that tweet?
Chris Evans like what?
And then Mark Ruffalo was like, "Sorry, bro. I was under duress or something."
And the rest.
Now,
Uh,
so the good thing is, I mean, listening to a lot of podcasts about it, they kind of confirm that like this tidbit was actually given to them by Feige.
yeah, he
Like,
was the one that gave the
right?
info.
Like, so
Yeah.
these bits and pieces, these are so we kind of infer, or at least I infer, that Feige, Marvel, there's people in there that are looking through tweets, looking through the rumors,
Mm.
Reddits, and seeing what are the questions about the show to make sure that they plug all of these doubts at
Yeah.
some point, right? There
Yeah.
I
is confirmed
mean,
that there is one
yeah, that's what
employee in MCU whose
I
entire job
volunteered
is to
to work
ensure that
that job.
the
all of
timeline
the
makes sense.
timeline is correct, and they don't get into the problem of, I think it was Homecoming, right?
Yeah.
Where they kind of regretted putting that date there because it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It
So
was 2 years off at or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
so exactly. So it's great that the story feels solid and lived in because you care about the fine details like that.
Yeah.
Even just even if it's just a joke, it's important.
Hmm.
Right? Fucking, because either Captain America might have like a bastard child somewhere out there, or
Ooh.
you don't want your fucking hero to just like die,
Over. No,
live his entire life not fucking.
I
and the
mean,
answer was so
It's
well done.
America's
Like
ass, man. I mean,
the answer was perfect because if you think about it, he spent months in that tour.
yeah,
In the
Exactly.
movie, it
in
was
the
just
USO
like
tour.
a blink and you miss it, but it was a perfect
Yeah.
time to think about it.
Yeah, and the
So
thing is, like they also showed in the first movie that the girls were like really macking on him.
Yeah.
He's still human. I mean, he's super soldier and he's very like worthy of Mjolnir, but he's still human, man.
That's what makes you human. What are
Exactly,
you how would you know what you're fighting for, right?
yeah,
exactly. And then Peggy just sealed the deal. You know, Captain Carter. I'm from now on. She's just Captain Carter for
Captain
me.
Car. Okay, so
Yeah,
the episode 2 ends with the reveal that she was taking the case, but then somebody leaked the fight of Abomination and Wong in the media from Shang-Chi.
that sucks.
So it sucks and what's this? Uh yeah, the post credits was just her being used her mighty strength was being used as errands
which
around the
is
house, which is so
which is
realistic.
realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And
yeah. Please install my TV. You know, lift my car so I could could change the tires.
See,
and then
so even that stinger on the second episode was wonderful because we don't see our heroes. We haven't seen any MCU person using their powers in a
Practical.
day-to-day way.
day to day.
The closest that we get was Iron Man doing all of the underwater piping
Mm.
for
Yeah,
you
but
know, to be
that's
off
not
the
even day
grid.
to day. Yeah, it's like
Right? That's not
It's a
even
mission. Yeah.
that's an actual
work.
it
It's
could be a
part of
mission.
work.
It's like a
Yeah.
big industrial thing. This is just like carrying water, fixing putting the
Yeah.
TV on the wall, which makes sense. Which I mean,
Yeah.
if I had like one of you
If
guys
it's
have
my daughter, yeah,
superpowers,
it's my daughter. All right.
right?
So,
I
anyways,
mean, if I
we
have super speed, I'll just no more commute, right?
yeah. So we get to episode 3, which is the actual trying of Emile Blonsky's case, and we
Mm.
get Wong, who's just like living it up, and I love it. So
I must depart.
I must depart.
Wong,
The LinkedIn
they
profile
found
fucking killed me.
they
It
found him in
killed me.
LinkedIn.
Oh my! So what? I love the fact that the paralegal is fucking badass. Because like, if you could get Wong to call you back,
Thirst
that's a
trap, man.
come on. That's a sorcerer
You saw the
supreme. So
tweet,
that's a
right?
really good paralegal.
Yeah.
Uh, Using a thirst trap, I might add. And then see the good thing about this universe, the She-Hulk universe is, if you follow if you follow Marvel or if you follow Disney Plus and you follow She-Hulk the account, they posted like what was the thirst the like
Mhm.
I sent him a selfie with books in it. It's like right. So it's like, and then they put out the photo of her with the books, and I love again the LinkedIn profile of Wong, like target associate, and then Kamartaj librarian, and then sorcerer supreme. Oh, I fucking love it.
And I skipped the part where pissed off all the toxic fans in the
Oh
Instagram
yeah.
prediction. They predicted everything that they were gonna say, and
They it's
in
like
the
they
quick
knew.
montage, and all the sexist stuff that they're saying, like why all no more male heroes, stuff like that. Like, oh. And then the only thing I need to say, I think, with the first 2 episodes is we're not getting enough Nikki. We need more of
Nikki.
the paralegal. The paralegal isn't it Nikki?
Oh, Ginger.
We need
Nikki.
a lot of the other people,
Well,
but yeah, it's
well,
early, and then it's
Yeah,
well,
again
and
we
so
Bug
looked
with 30
around.
Bug had
minutes.
Uh,
Bug had a
Yeah,
a
so
good case with
so we get
the B
the
story.
B
The B story.
story is Pug defending Dennis Bukowski. You said Bukowski, right? Dennis
Bukowski, and
Bukowski
that's a
from
little Easter egg too, because like Dennis, the Charles Bukowski is a very well known author, best selling author, very prolific writer, but unabashedly a misogynist, right? So
uh,
kind of like it's one of those things where you might do good, you're a DA, but you can still be an ass.
yep.
We can still love your work, but can still hate you. So that's a kind of the show's nod to it because, like for the better world, it's a very feminist show. Like it's She-Hulk written, showrunners are female, lead directors are. I Let me check. I think every single director is a female. Yeah,
Makes
every well,
sense.
couple of male writers, but mostly female writers. Every episode's directed by female, Kat Corio and Anna Vaya. So yeah, so they really want to lean into this part, but educating us with history as well.
Yeah. So he's defending Bukowski because he got defrauded by a shifter from Asgard, New Asgard.
Love it.
So funny. I like harassing women in in the office. That's my kick. Like, oh
That's
my
my
god,
kick.
that's so funny.
That's my future fiance there. Like no.
But I also like the fact that they didn't do the typical shapeshifter where she's making too much chaos. Like
Mm,
she got caught very
very
fast.
petty. Yeah.
She was very petty, and it's almost like she had like ADHD. Like she was very she didn't have much impulse control. So it was very funny, and she was pretending to be Megan Thee Stallion. Dated and I love this she Hulk like you thought you drove a facade. She couldn't hold her voice like And then we get the
Did
first.
you really think?
We got the first glimpse of Hamilton actress. What's her name, Jong?
Oh,
Uh,
the other lawyer,
yeah. You mentioned her name from Hamilton. Gold.
Angelica. She's Angelica,
The one
right?
who played
Oh,
Angelica.
Yeah.
uh,
Uh,
oh fuck, I pulled her name up.
yeah, you said it. You mentioned it a while ago.
Renee Goldsberry.
There we go. So we got her first. She's really pretty, but we got her first scene where they called her, and
And
then
her character is it's a semi big character
in the comics, yeah,
Comics.
in the
like a
comic.
rival or
So
something. And
Mallory Book.
then it's like typical. Oh, I can't talk to a 10 about embarrassing man. So he gets stuck with. Oh, not stuck, but he goes with Pug, and then so we go back to the A story. Wong testifies about being the one to force Emil Blonsky as a kumite, which is like a practice fight or a training
Blood
fight.
sport.
Because he was training, a good reason he was training to be sorcerer.
Which
Supreme.
makes
Sorcerer
sense.
Supreme.
Fuck
So which
it.
is funny because I never guessed that. I thought that all the theories during Shang-Chi was Wong was training Abomination for Thunderbolts.
Not himself.
I never thought that it was gonna be Wong training himself, which is
Yeah.
would make sense if you're the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
We should be like working on your skills. So that's actually really good
particularly
storytelling.
on your fighting skills too. So,
Yeah,
anyways,
I mean,
we also meet.
in a way, it's kind of like a. I just saw it like a Naruto callback. Like, yeah, you're good at magic, but you also have to go do martial
And
arts
do
as well.
yeah, I had to practice here. So we meet Emil Blonsky's better eights.
Better
the,
eight.
the, the, the
Better
seventh
eight.
soul man. Any questions? All the judges. How does that work? So that was a fun scene. Wong was late, but eventually, uh, Emil convinced the judges, even like showing that he can become Abomination at will, just like She-Hulk. And at the end, I think there's gonna be a warrant for Wong. So I think she's gonna. I saw a promo. I think she's gonna
Yeah,
be doing his case for.
They did say it, but he departed.
He did.
I
I
must
must
have.
depart.
I don't think that there is extradition in Kamartaj, so
That is
he'll
true.
be safe.
It could be
I
in
think it's more
mirror
like clearing his
dimension.
name or something. So that was the A story. And the B story, it was Jen Walters who described Dennis of being that delusional that he would think that he was Megan Thee Stallion. And then we do get Megan Thee Stallion in the back watching, and they win, and this is such a great touch that they sentenced her 60 days for impersonating a judge. Because I was like,
Yeah.
that's not a small
Consequences.
thing, right? That's not a small
Yeah.
thing that she did, Runa. I even love that her own lawyer was like, "Get down from here." That's not funny.
From the- and then Pug's like, this is good for us. This is good for us.
I know, and it was. So that was good, and then this is a nice touch to like the fourth wall breaking is it's such a delight because it's not like Deadpool where it's all the time.
Yeah.
Here she just goes in at a good pace with the fourth wall breaks, and it's not a lot, and usually it's something that you're thinking as well.
Mhm.
So it's
Like,
it's
I'm
just
sure
really nice. It's not all
you're
the time.
excited
like
to see
Deadpool.
Wong.
Yeah.
You're excited to see Wong.
Just
but,
remember whose show this is.
which is a hit on Boba Fett.
Oh, and then the ending is she's still going home and she's mugged by the wrecking crew, which is another amazing origin story of them just stealing a construction crew. Stealing a construction crew.
One has the hard hat. One has the.
I mean, it is the wrecking crew, right? But you do get this little bit that they're working for someone and they wanted the blood, so that might be like the main through line.
I hope it's the leader. I hope it's the
So
leader.
it
'Cause
does
I'm tired
look
of
like,
Hydra.
yeah. Well, I mean, the leader is part of it was in the first Hulk. So
Yeah.
that is kind of like the prevailing idea that somebody knows that all you need is a little bit of Hulk blood
Yeah.
to
I mean, I also saw like a theory that maybe it's Titania because she wants to get like to got she
Stronger.
got embarrassed. And I mean, who would hire the wrecking crew if you're really smart? Would you hire those punks? Like
And
they,
Probably.
like
or maybe they just
more competent, hire more
underestimated her.
competent, or at least hire like ex-military guys or something. Like not
That is
those
Well,
true. That is true.
yeah.
punks. So
Or
we'll
some
see.
I even saw somewhere said that it probably Doctor Doom or Leader or
Yeah.
some other like but we'll see. I mean,
And
I hope it's the
what
leader.
did you guys think of the last shot with the mirror? Like
It's fine.
like
It's
she
a
was looking through the car window.
And seeing She-Hulk, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Like
that. I think
what's
that's
your interpretation of that?
that's the good thing about this show is it's still in the end for the first two episodes or probably the first episode she just wants to be a lawyer, wants to be a lawyer, wants to be a lawyer, wants to be a lawyer. Now you're literally just you're 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 essentially going into like a job where you have to put a costume on to
Mhm.
be taken seriously or to be even just a job, and the job itself, like Holloway mentioned, if she loses like the Blonsky case, it's important, but the publicity itself already wins.
Yeah.
So more and more, my interpretation there is her being a lawyer, her being a person is becoming less important. She's just becoming She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Although it's
Because I
just
was a
her.
little confused at
Plus,
the end of
plus,
there, but
pl- plus what Bruce was telling her, like, no, because you're a Hulk now, you're basically a target, and she's realizing that oh yeah,
yeah, I
so
think what Jong said, it's probably on point where she's also like accepting that she doesn't have this like an alter ego that she is that also, like she is She-Hulk. It's not something that she can
Yes,
become like. But I just want to give another theory, like one of the reacts, like the normies, the Marquetta, the one of the women there did mention that, like, from her interpretation, that last shot was like, it's scary to get mugged as a woman. You're walking
yeah.
down the street, you're being, even though with her power, with her having powers, the feeling that she got mugged or attacked, it's still like,
Hmm.
very emotional and traumatic experience. So that was her, and then we go to the post credits that broke the internet. With She-Hulk twerking with, I love this for all the reasons, like amazing, funny, and it's just pissing off all those toxic people, like, ugh, like
yeah.
even
There's always going to be somebody that will any show.
no, I mean,
Somebody
but this
even
one was like,
said
it's really pissing them off. Like,
like
even people are attacking Boss Logic for making artwork of her dancing with the twerking, like end of
yeah.
Marvel and stuff, like, oh my god, it's so funny.
Somebody even commented like nobody had an issue with Bully Maguire dancing
But
or
once a
Baron
woman twerk,
Zemo
yeah.
dancing. Yeah, and then
So
even Tony Stark was dancing when he was drunk in Iron Man 2. Nobody had an issue.
he pissed in his suit. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
but
in his
yeah.
suit.
yeah,
No,
it's
but
just
I'm
one of
just
those.
saying, like, before it would annoy me that they're satyrs, but now I know that, like, part of them making that shot, I know, is like to piss
It's
everyone,
the
like real
trigger.
fun,
Yeah,
like She-Hulk falling down with the finger, like, oh, this is for you, and I loved it. And what even
yeah.
makes it even better was that Tatiana Maslany is one of the biggest Megan Thee Stallion fans.
Uh,
Yeah,
I've
and
been
she
watching a
would
lot of her
kill for
interviews.
her.
So yeah, she would really
Code
kill it.
attack.
That was amazing. Like,
One of the,
so
I mean, the one of the best. Well, I think I'm calling it's the best stinger that I've ever seen. Fuck all the announcements of different characters. What, Harry Styles has arrows? Fuck that shit. No, it's Megan Thee Stallion twerking in MCU and loving it. And
Yeah,
then just even just the that's why that any other person that would have said, I would kill for you, Megan Thee Stallion, wouldn't be that fun. Like when I was listening to the interview of her about that episode, and even I had the same questions. Like, you be like, did you ad lib that? Because it came from a different place. Like, it came from like a really like no, it was written by Jessica Gao, but she knew how much I love Megan Thee Stallion, and she knew that I would kill that line if I said it. It's like fuck, you killed it. It's great.
I
Yeah.
mean,
so yeah, so
I mean,
that's it for 3 episodes. We went a little overboard with our time, but so
It's a
much how
fun
much
show.
we love it. Yeah, and this is one of the shows that I rewatch and am rewatching and will rewatch. So
Hmm. Let's do a round of our ratings and final thoughts. Let's start with Yarni.
Well, She-Hulk again. It's like I said earlier. It's a great connective tissue between the Endgame MCU and then moving forward. I would also recommend watching some of the new rock stars Easter egg videos because it just adds more to the experience. And again, don't worry about the haters. Just enjoy the show. And just remember, it is a cameo show, but it's her show, so it's not like Boba Fett. All right, love it.
she's still the core.
She's still
Rating.
the cool.
Oh, did you
Rating.
rate it? Rate it.
Oh, rating. Oh, it's I would say give it a 9.
Chubax?
Yeah, I'll go with the 9. I would have gone with the 10, but there's some like the CGI stuff and maybe some of the controversy with the running the FX artist too much. But yeah, the show, the goals of the show, what the show is just so fun. And it's been, as I said, it's my new comfort series, and I there's no new. Most of my comfort series right now are like animated, adult but animated. So I haven't had a live action series that I can rewatch and just relax. So I'm going with that.
I too am a solid 9. It's the ultimate sit down and open your eyes kind of series. Great. It's light, but it has depth, which is my favorite types of shows. Good action, super funny, great acting, well casted. The only reason why this is not going to be a 10 is because like you need the background of 26 movies in order to really enjoy the Easter eggs, which is a great suggestion by Arnie. Watch New Rockstars, new watch Emergency Awesome, watch Nerdist breakdowns, and get all of those Easter eggs to really, really enjoy like even the smallest things like
Mm-hmm.
the wrecking crew, the how yeah, the Hamilton actress is going to be an important part in the series. So there's a lot of these things that kind of elevates the series. That's why I like it, Box. I'll be watching this. I've already watched it multiple times in the background because it's just fun. But I think this is one of those things that as soon as the series is done, I will do a binge because this is the best formula for a binge series because it's light, it's fun, it's short. I mean, the segments are short. You can like eat and pee and whatnot. So, encourage everybody to watch She-Hulk. And in 3 weeks after episode 6 drops, we will do our second act check-in, second, third check-in. So, join us on that as well. Final thoughts and goodbye, Arnie.
I mean, She-Hulk, 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 yada 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 yada.
Chubax?
Yeah, can't wait for more, man. Gotta bring it.
Yeah.
All right. Again, thank you for watching. We are plus 63HP. We are on YouTube at youtube.com plus 63HP. We are on all the socials, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at plus 63HP is our handle. And if you don't want to watch this video on demand, you don't want to see our faces, you just want to put us in the background, pull up your phone, open your podcasting app, search plus 63HP. We will be there. We prefer Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon. Again, this week we have She-Hulk and we have what's our other show?
Lord of the
Oh,
Rings.
Lord of the Rings,
Rings of
Rings of
Power.
Power, episode 1 and 2. Next week we'll have shows so we have 2 series this week. So we're gonna make up next week with 2 um
Movies.
so we're gonna do next week Nope and Extraordinary
Oh
Attorney
yeah.
Nope on Netflix. First 2 episodes of that. So join us if you want to discuss. And with that, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.
I must do more.